back with another FAQ. We try to do this every year, but this has been a huge year for us.
This has been a spectacular year. We went to weekly content. Hopefully you've noticed.
I've noticed.
We're working our butts off. He's editing more. We've hired editors.
Yeah.
We're expanding.
Yeah.
You know that?
And then, of course, we did our pilgrimage film, biggest film we've ever done.
Yeah.
Road trip across Germany, all the way into Belgium for Spa. Hopefully you've seen that by now.
Yeah.
Monster year, but as a result, we've had good growth. Some people have found us from our podcast, The Car Debate. So as a result, we've got more questions that are some of them might seem like they're basic, but we want to cover a few things that have come from new viewers.
We want you to love your car as much as we want to love our cars.
Yeah.
So spend your money better, spend it wisely, and buy something you really love. This is our mantra we've been preaching for years now.
And we want you to have whatever your car is you use every day. That's where the title comes from. We want that car to be a car you love.
Absolutely.
And that means it has to meet your budget. And generally we try to stay under 50 grand. Most of the cars in Everyday Driver are under 50 grand. We do the exotics as well.
Sure.
But it's got to be a car that meets your budget and meets your needs, and that's fine. But a minivan can do that. You say, I've got Bluetooth and backup camera and the car's comfortable. Fine, but you haven't said it's fun yet. And for us, all of those features you can get on almost any car. Let's also make it a fun car, which leads to a different selection criteria.
Yes, when you hear Everyday Driver, I want you to think enthusiast driver too, because we want to go burn gas just because.
Well, but you bring up a point. If you drive a car that is just a utility car, you don't go drive it for fun.
No, you don't just set out on a Saturday morning and go driving.
And the cars that are fun should be able to do all the other things you need a car to do. We understand that's important. Budget, all of the carry stuff, I've got to have it do this. That's fine. Find that car that's also fun. And if we're debating two cars that will do all those exact same utility efforts and one's more fun than the other, generally, we're going to say get the fun car.
Right. Or if we could find you've got the utility car and you've got a budget left over for the fun car, well, now what do you do? How do you spend that money? You don't have $100,000, but you've got a little budget. What can we do for you? How can we find you a fun car?
And so much time in whatever car you have, and probably every day of your life, let's make it fun.
We've never had a car for 12 months. We've never spent
and it's
more
here
car
again.
than just
noticed?
a shoot.
It's here again.
Here it is.
We brought it one more time.
And notice it's on winter tires too, which means we're driving it in the snow. We've been talking about winter tires. Keep driving your fun car in the winter, which Todd is now doing.
Yeah,
and it's fun to drive this in different seasons. We spend a week or a weekend shooting cars. Sure. And we don't really live with them long term to understand when you ask about reliability. We think it's, the next generation or problems are, we think it'll be good, but by living with a car, absolutely, we can tell you, like, here's the good and the bad. We actually had some problems that we talked about on the podcast.
This is the first of a series of long-term cars. I mean, we also have the Cayenne, my wife and I bought. We're talking about that because that's in that range of was a very expensive car, has now become almost affordable used. Is it going to be reliable? We have that car as well. Paul's going to buy a fun car next year. That'll add to the fleet.
Can't wait.
And it also allows us to do like track time and tuning and things we've never covered before. Talk about pros and cons of using your real everyday car as those kind of things.
This is going to be fun.
Everybody does this. Every single automotive outlet does car of the year, performance car of the year, whatever. I want to change ours up though. Because a lot of times it's confined to cars that came out that calendar. Throw that out. I mean, with our Fast Blast, we're doing older stuff now. We're getting a range of things. So I want to cover of the cars we've driven this year. They could be old cars, they could be cars we drove before, but they have to have been driven in 2015.
Well, I love that you're putting parameters around this because as soon as people find out we're automotive journalists, they always say, oh, so what's your favorite car? Yeah. Which is the question I hate. But if you put parameters for this year, oh man, the top of the list is the 911 GT3. When you watch the pilgrimage film, you will see how delighted I am with this car. I went shopping. There's still $160,000.
If you can get one for that, because then guys are getting premiums above that. They were giving them out at Spa. Somehow we missed the line.
I want one. I still want one. I hope I have a GT3 in my life at some point. I loved that car. But we also drove the comparison of these two cars, the Audi S3 and the BMW M235i this year.
It's a great comparison.
We kind of knew what the S3 was going to be like. We'd driven the Golf R, same engine, same running gear. We had expectations. What I didn't expect was how much I was going to like the M235i.
I know you did.
This is so
you almost
didn't
give that car back. That was the only time where I thought we might actually be committing a felony.
I wanted to drive that car home.
I know you did.
Oh man, I love this car. What else did we drive? Oh, we had the Lotus Evora S that was Craig.
That's on my list too.
It is?
Yes, I have to say the Lotus Evora S.
Oh,
I'm a Lotus freak. I love them. They speak to me. It's weird. It's one of those brands. It's like Porsche for you. It's one of those brands where their cars in general just speak to me. But Evora S, thanks again, Craig. That's on my 5 as well, for sure.
Man, you've started to push me towards the Lotus camp. You've spouted off how great it is and all this stuff. And I kind of believed you, but I was still over here in the Porsche camp
But
going,
it's us, so you really believe me. I
didn't really believe you, and then I drove it and I went, okay, I'm on board with Lotus. Yeah. I really am. So I love that car. Then, as Todd said, we've been getting more into fun tuning, little, squirty little,
surprising
fun
little cars for the Fast Class, yeah.
So this Mark 1 with the Audi 1.8 turbo engine in it, it has twice the horsepower of what the designers ever thought would be in the car.
Sean's little tiny weighs nothing GTI. Yeah, that was fun.
I laughed out loud the whole time I was driving that car. And then finally, we had track day. We had Motor Press Guild track day, which we've talked about on the podcast, and I got to drive the C63S. This is the new AMG C-Class, which felt so well sorted on the track.
It did, honestly.
Amazing
very
motor.
Surprising. Yeah,
I'm in love with Mercedes now.
That piece is coming soon. It's interesting you bring up Mercedes because another one of my 5 is the GTS. I only drove a track day. Unfortunately, we don't have it on camera. I barely got in as they were closing the track.
We need to spend some more time with that car.
We definitely do. But it was one of those cars where I'm not a guy that really gets excited about Mercedes.
I know you're
not. Good,
I know you're not.
But I gotta say, I think that GTS does everything it needs to. It is the fantastic 911 alternative. It has a very different personality. I love the way it looks. Great engine, really well sorted. It was good on the track. I was genuinely surprised by that car in every category. We need to next year. We need to get it on camera because it really was honestly one of my top 5 for the year.
Wow.
I have to include also from track day, but we've driven it before, and that was the Chevy SS. But the one at track day had the 6-speed and the magnetic ride control.
It was equipped the way you want it.
I'm sorry, if you've got 40 grand and you're buying a family full-size sedan, that car must be on your list. It's that good.
Yeah.
So impressed with it.
Yeah,
and then from the Fast Blast, you picked the Fast Blast. I have to say our first one, the 944 Turbo.
True.
I went shopping. I did. It was bad. I got online. I was like, 944 Turbo. Then I was like, what am I doing? Stop. So yeah, 944 Turbo. And then my last one has got to be, I have to bring it up. Bring it up a lot. The Fiesta ST.
That is a great car. How can you not love that car?
Look, I bought an FRS, but every time I drive the Fiesta ST, I just think, this car is just kind of undeniably fun.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, as always. Please tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell anybody you know that likes cars about our show. We're going to keep cranking out weekly content. Another feature next year.
And tell them about this year's feature film. Tell them about Pilgrimage. Hopefully you've seen it, as I've said.
Yeah.
Please watch that and tell people about it. We had a lot of fun, and we love sharing our experiences with you. And by the way, the Car Debate, find us on iTunes, Stitcher.
Anywhere there's podcasts, you can find it.
Any podcast, find us and write to us at everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. We want to help you find fun stuff just like we're driving fun stuff. We want to help you get a fun car too.
Thanks, guys.